Oh, well, hello there. Welcome. I am so very glad you found your way here. Yes, it is me, Santa Claus, speaking to you from my favorite chair here at the North Pole. The fire is crackling away, and the snow is falling ever so softly outside my window. It's the perfect kind of evening for a quiet chat. I thought it might be nice to just sit for a while together. The workshop is bustling, as always, but I've set aside this time just for you. So, find a comfortable spot and let the world outside fade away for a little bit. For the next while, I'll be right here with you. I plan to share a story or two that comes to mind, perhaps answer a few questions I've seen in your letters, and maybe just share a bit of my wisdom from watching the world turn for so very long. This isn't a grand performance, you see, just a quiet time for us to share. A chance to feel that wonderful, warm spirit of Christmas. There's no need to do anything at all other than just be here. I am so very glad you are. It truly means the world to me that you've chosen to spend this time with me. So, let us begin. Ha 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 ho! You know, as I travel the world on Christmas Eve, I see so many beautiful things. But have you ever wondered about one of the sweetest traditions of all? That little plate of cookies and the glass of milk you leave out for me. Oh, it's a welcome sight indeed. After a long journey through the starry sky, to step into a quiet home and find that thoughtful treat, it's just the thing to keep me going. And the reindeer, well, they're always very grateful for a crunchy carrot or two. It's a moment of peace in a very busy night. But the story behind it is even more wonderful. This special tradition of sharing a snack became very popular during a time when many families had very little. It was a way for parents to show their children that even in difficult times, the most important thing is to have a generous heart. It taught them the joy of giving, of showing gratitude for the blessings you do have by sharing them with others. And the idea goes back even further than that, to old stories from the North. Long ago, children would leave out bundles of hay and treats for the mighty eight-legged steed of a winter traveler, hoping for a gift in return. A kindness for the traveler's companion, you see. So when I see that plate, I see more than just a cookie. I see a history of kindness. I see a lesson in gratitude that has been passed down through generations. It's a tiny beacon of love left in the quiet of the night. It tells me that the spirit of Christmas is alive and well in your home. That simple plate of cookies is a promise, really. It's a promise that you will always remember to share what you have, to show thanks, and to welcome a weary traveler. It's one of the purest expressions of the holiday spirit, and it fills my heart with joy every single time. Ho, ho, ho! What a beautiful thought! It is always such a joy to sit for a moment and read through the letters you send. They arrive here by the sackful, each one filled with so much wonder and curiosity. I have a couple of questions here I thought I would answer for you today. This first one comes from a young fellow named Oliver, who is 7 years old. He asks, "We all know about your love for cookies, but what is your favorite savory meal that Mrs. Claus makes, especially after a long day in the workshop?" Ho, ho, ho! That is a wonderful question, Oliver. And you are right, a good cookie is a true delight. But after a long day with the elves, when the air is crisp and my beard is full of sawdust and maybe a bit of stray tinsel, there is nothing, and I mean nothing, like a bowl of Mrs. Claus's winter solstice stew. It's a thick, slow-cooked stew with sweet frost root vegetables we grow under the aurora lights and the most tender beef. Oh, it warms you right down to the tips of your boots. She says the secret ingredient is a bit of patience and a lot of love, and I believe her. It fills the whole house with the most wonderful aroma and gives me just the right amount of cheer to check the list one more time. Now, here is a question from someone with a very bright mind indeed. This is from Evelyn, a physicist. Evelyn writes, "How does the magic toy sack hold enough presents for everyone? Does it bend time and space inside to make it bigger on the inside?" Evelyn, you are thinking along precisely the right lines. Your understanding of the world is quite fascinating. But the magic of the sack is tied to something even more powerful than space and time. It's tied to the spirit of Christmas itself. The sack was woven a long, long time ago from threads of pure kindness and starlight. And its capacity, well, it isn't fixed. It grows. With every good deed, with every act of generosity, with every bit of hope shared in the world, the sack expands just a little more. So, in a way, you are absolutely right. It is bigger on the inside because it holds the goodness of all of you. It's not so much a trick of physics, you see, as it is a miracle of the heart. Such marvelous questions. Thank you, Oliver and Evelyn, and to all of you who share your thoughts with me. Never stop wondering. Never stop asking why or how. Your curiosity is a gift, and it helps to make the world a brighter, more magical place. It certainly does up here. You know, my dear Mrs. Claus, she has a way of seeing right to the center of things, especially when my own thoughts get a little tangled. She understands the heart of the North Pole better than anyone, and certainly better than I do at times. I confess, I was in the workshop a while back, watching the elves assemble these new marvelous toys. Such wonders! with blinking lights and whirring circuits, truly amazing. And yet a little worry began to creep into my mind. I looked at a beautiful hand-carved wooden rocking horse, and then back to a shiny new spaceship, and I thought, does this new one have the same spirit, the same warmth? Well, my wife must have read the concern on my face. She didn't say a word. She just smiled, took my hand, and led me to our quiet study. A lovely small fire was glowing there. She pointed to the log that was burning and called it her Heartwood project. You see, she had gone to the wood-carving elves. For every single wooden toy they make, every dollhouse, every spinning top, every little soldier, she asked them to save one tiny shaving, a little curl of pine, a whisper of oak. She gathers them all together and binds them into a log. And the ribbon she uses to tie it, it's spun from pure moonlight. The most magical thing happens as the fire burns. The ribbon never catches flame. It just holds the heartwood together until the very last ember glows, and then it simply vanishes, returning to the night sky. As we sat there, the room filled with the scent of the forest. Yes, but also something more. It was the scent of care, of dedication, of the love that went into each of those classic toys. It was her way of showing me that the same heart, the same spirit is the foundation for everything we do. Whether a toy is made of wood or wire, that same love is what makes it magical. She has a way of making everything clearer. Ah, what a wonderful life it is sharing it with her. Even with all the lists to check and toys to make, there's always time for a bit of cheer in the workshop. A good chuckle can make the busiest day feel light. I have a few little jokes I've picked up over the years, and I'd be delighted to share them with you. Here's the first one. What do you call a greedy elf? Elfish. That one is quite popular in the toy-making wing. Though I must say, our elves are the kindest souls you could ever hope to meet. All right, here is another I quite like. What did one Christmas light say to the other? You're very bright. It's true, isn't it? It always seems we shine our best when we're all together, sharing our light. Just one more for you. What do you call a snowman in the summer? A puddle. Oh, what a silly thought. It's a good reminder to cherish these cozy moments while they last, isn't it?
It's wonderful to share a smile. Laughter is a special kind of magic, one that warms you from the inside out and brings everyone a little closer. It's a gift we can give each other all year long.
Some of the most powerful magic in the world isn't found in a flash of light or a clap of thunder. No, no, it's in the quiet, steady things. Things like the ink I use for my great book. Have you ever wondered how I keep the naughty and nice list so perfectly up to date? It's a very big world, after all. Well, the secret isn't just in the watching, it's in the writing. The ink we use is, well, it's quite special. At the very beginning of winter, when the air is so crisp it feels like a bell has just been rung, the elves gather icicles from the eaves of our workshop. But not just any icicles. They must be the ones that have captured the very first rays of the morning sun. That light, you see, holds all the hope and promise of the new season. We carefully melt them down, and they become this beautiful, deep blue ink. But here is the true wonder of it. Whenever a child anywhere in the world does something especially kind, shares a toy without being asked, helps someone who has stumbled, or speaks a word of comfort to a friend, a tiny glimmer of that goodness travels. It's faster than a sleigh and quieter than a falling snowflake, and it finds its way right here to my study. And in that moment, the ink next to that child's name on the page, it glows. For just a second, it shines with a warm, golden light. The whole book sometimes shimmers when there is a great wave of kindness in the world. It's a quiet, beautiful reminder that every good deed, no matter how small, has a light all its own. And that is how the magic of Christmas is built. Not on one grand miracle, but on millions of tiny shining moments of goodness, all connected and glowing together. Every so often, a letter finds its way to my desk that feels, Well, it feels a little heavier than the others. Not because of the paper, you understand, but because of the feelings tucked inside. I have one such letter here now. The paper is a bit smudged, you see, as if a few tears fell while it was being written. Let me see. It says, "Dear Santa, my name is Ben. I don't need any presents this year, not even one, but I'm writing about my big brother, Tom. I did a very bad thing. I was playing with his favorite spaceship rattle, the big silver one he built with Dad, and I dropped it. It broke all over the floor. I got so scared, Santa. I hid the pieces, and I haven't told him. He just thinks it's lost, and he looks so sad when he can't find it. My tummy hurts every time I see him look. So my only wish is for you to please bring him a new spaceship, one that's even better than the old one. And maybe you could leave a little note? A note to help me tell him I'm sorry it was an accident? That's all I want. Thank you, your friend, Ben." Oh my, young Ben, what a heart you have. You know, it takes a very special kind of courage to write a letter like this. It's easy to ask for a toy or a game, but to ask for forgiveness, to put someone else's happiness so far ahead of your own, that is a gift in itself. A mistake is like a fallen log in a path. It can seem so big and impossible to get over. But an apology, a true and honest apology, is like a helping hand that lifts you right over it. It makes the path clear again. Ben, your wish to make things right is the truest magic of Christmas. It's more powerful than any starlight on my sleigh. It's the light of love, you see, and that light shines so very brightly from this little letter. Don't you worry, my dear boy. The elves have a particularly wonderful spaceship model that I think Tom will be overjoyed to see. And as for that little note, I think we can certainly help with that. The most important words, though, will be the ones that come straight from your own good heart. That is the very best gift you can give your brother. The very best indeed. I do love a good puzzle. It's like unwrapping a little gift for the mind. Shall we try one together? I think you'll do splendidly. All right, here is the first one. It's a plant with white berries hung high in a hole. When two people stand under it, a sweet tradition they'll recall. It hangs in a doorway, a lovely green sprig. What is this little plant that brings about such a happy moment? A very old and happy tradition indeed. Now, for a little clue. Standing beneath this plant often leads to a holiday kiss. Did you guess it? Ho! It is, of course, mistletoe. Such a simple thing, bringing so much warmth and affection into a home. Are you ready for another? This one is very near and dear to my heart. Ho! They're a special team with antlers held high, known for their magical ability to fly. They guide my sleigh through the dark, wintry night, led by a captain with a nose shining so very bright. Who are they? I imagine you know this one quite well, but if you need a little help, Dasher, Dancer, and Prancer are 3 of the 9. Yes, you have it! They are my wonderful reindeer, the finest team anyone could ever ask for. I can almost hear their bells jingling in the crisp air now. Wasn't that fun? A good riddle clears the mind and warms the spirit. It reminds us that there's always a little bit of magic waiting to be discovered if we just look for it.
You know, the other evening, Mrs. Claus and I had one of the most delightful times I can remember. The workshop was finally quiet for the night, and the fire in the great room was casting such long, dancing shadows on the walls. It put a wonderful idea into our heads. I decided I would try my hand at making a shadow puppet. My old hands, well, they're very good at carving wood and tying ribbons, but making a reindeer on the wall, my creation looked a bit like a wobbly moose with very long ears. I was trying my best to make it prance when Mrs. Claus, without a word, held up her hands next to mine. With a simple, graceful twist of her fingers, the most perfect little elf appeared on the wall. And before I could even say a word, her little elf shadow hopped right onto the back of my reindeer. Well, that started it all. We spent the next hour making up a grand story right there on the spot. A brave little elf on a quest with his slightly clumsy reindeer friend to find a lost gingerbread star that had tumbled from the top of the pantry shelf. Oh, you should have seen them, galloping over the armchair, sneaking past the grandfather clock. We were both laughing so hard our shadows were shaking on the wall. Ho, ho, ho! It's funny, isn't it? Sometimes the grandest adventures don't need a sleigh at all. Just a warm fire, a bit of imagination, and someone you love to share it with.
In my many journeys around the world, I have had the great joy of seeing how the Christmas spirit shines in countless different ways. Every culture has its own special light, its own beautiful song. It warms my old heart to see so many unique expressions of hope and togetherness. Today, I was thinking of a truly special one, down in the warm sunshine of Mexico. In a lovely city called Oaxaca, they celebrate a tradition that is so full of creativity, it makes me chuckle with delight every time I think of it. They call it Noche de Rábanos, which means the night of the radishes. Oh, yes, you heard me right. Radishes. Just before Christmas, on the 23rd of December, the town square is filled with the most amazing sights. Talented artists and villagers take specially grown, oversized radishes and carve them into breathtaking little sculptures. I've seen entire nativity scenes with every figure perfectly shaped. I've seen historical scenes and wonderful whimsical characters, all brought to life from a simple root vegetable. It's a remarkable display of imagination. Isn't that just wonderful? It reminds me that the magic of the season isn't just in the grand and glorious things, but in the small, clever, and heartfelt creations too. It shows that the spirit of giving and joy can bloom in the most unexpected and beautiful ways all across our amazing world.
Ho, ho, ho! The workshop can be a bustling place, full of cheerful noise and happy work. But at night, when the elves are tucked in their beds, a special kind of quiet settles over everything. And in that quiet, the toys sometimes have stories of their own. I thought you might like to hear one. It's a tale I call The Toy Knight Who Guarded the Workshop. There was a toy knight, carved from the finest old pine, named Sir Reginald. His shield was painted with a tiny, perfect candy cane, and his wooden sword was always ready. From the moment he was finished, he believed his purpose was to stand watch over the workshop. He would stand perfectly still on his shelf, his little painted eyes scanning the room, protecting the dolls and the teddy bears from dust bunnies, I suppose. Ho, ho! He was very serious. But as Christmas Eve drew near, I noticed Sir Reginald seemed troubled. While other toys were excited to be packed in my sack, he would try to hide behind a pot of glitter. One evening, I found him tucked behind a rocking horse, looking very worried indeed. I picked him up and held him in my palm. "What is it, little knight?" I asked. He stood as tall as he could. "I cannot leave my post," he declared, in a voice that was brave but trembling. "Who will guard the workshop? Who Who will protect the toys?" I smiled. "Sir Reginald," I said, "you are a very fine god, but God's true duty isn't to protect a place, it is to protect joy. Right now there is a child far from here who dreams of a brave friend, a friend to guard their dreams and stand by their side. Your courage is needed there." He looked down at his little candy cane shield, thinking so very hard. I could almost see the understanding dawn in his wooden face. His purpose wasn't the workshop walls, it was a child's heart. When I placed him in my sleigh that year, he didn't hide. He stood proud and tall, ready for his grandest adventure. It is a wonderful thing to remember, isn't it? Our true purpose is so often found not in holding on, but in giving our gifts away. The greatest joy we can ever know is the joy we bring to someone else. That is the real spirit of Christmas. Ho, ho, ho! I do so love these quiet moments, turning the golden pages of the great ledger. The ink never truly dries, you know. It hums with the warmth of every good deed. Just now, my finger traced a line that shines with a special kind of light, and I thought, I must share this one with you. The entry takes us to a bustling market in Marrakesh. Can you imagine it? The air is filled with the scent of spices and mint tea, and the sunlight filters through colorful awnings. In the middle of all this wonderful chaos, a young child saw something on the cobblestones. It was a wallet, dropped by a traveler who was lost in the sights and sounds of the stalls. Now it would have been easy to simply pocket it. No one would have known. But this child's heart knew what was right. Without a moment's thought, the little one picked it up and began a quest, weaving through the crowded alleys, eyes searching every face. It wasn't an easy task. Finally, the child spotted the worried traveler and with a shy smile held out the lost wallet. The relief on the traveler's face was a reward far greater than any coin. Ho, ho, ho! It's the simple truth of that moment that makes the ink shine so. Honesty isn't about what you might receive for doing the right thing. It's about a feeling deep inside that guides you. It's a quiet strength that chooses kindness, even when no one is watching. This little one wasn't looking for praise or a treat, only for the simple satisfaction of returning what was lost. Seeing an act like that, a pure and honest gesture from a young heart in a busy corner of the world, it fills me with such profound hope. It reminds me that goodness isn't loud or flashy. Often it's a quiet decision, a small act that ripples outward in ways we can't even imagine. It warms my old heart to its very core.
ho, ho, ho. You know, after all these years, my dear Mrs. Claus still has the most wonderful way of seeing the heart of a puzzle, especially when I'm focused on all the little details. Just the other evening, I was here in my study looking over the great world map. Oh my, how things do change. There was a new part of a town, and the streets twisted and turned like ribbons tossed in the wind. I was tracing the routes with my finger, getting a little bit tangled up and murmuring to myself, trying to sort out the best path for my visit. She came over, quiet as a falling snowflake, and looked over my shoulder for a moment. Then, without a word, she reached for one of my older maps, one with well-loved creases and faded coastlines. Her finger landed on a tiny hand-drawn star I'd put on the corner of a town so many years ago. She just smiled and waited, and in that quiet moment, it all came back to me. I remember the family on that very corner who always left a bright lantern shining in the window just for me. That little light of kindness became my true landmark for that whole part of the town. Seeing the memory return to my eyes, she patted my shoulder and said so wisely, "The best maps are the ones drawn with memories, not just ink." Ho, ho, ho! She is always right about these things. She is my truest compass. It's a wonderful reminder that the most important landmarks aren't always streets or signs. Often, they are moments of warmth and acts of goodness. Kindness is a light, isn't it? It can guide any of us through the most confusing of paths. A lovely thought to keep close.